Stuart Downey, and it is a beautiful day to make it a great day. I was thinking this morning, I've been kind of battling a little bit of a seasonal cold or something or other, and I've been battling it for about a week. Managed to go play golf for 4 days, and that was tough. I found myself tired, and that's kind of led to getting myself back into the grind and getting myself back into the day to day and the things that I get to do for a living, which is amazing. And I started thinking about a concept, about a competitive world with uncompetitive people, or people with an uncompetitive nature, and I think that we start to see this kind of expound and grow. As our world continues to move forward. I mean, we have pictures every day of people who are hyper successful. They have powerful focus. They talk about, working all of these hours and doing all of these things. They have a passionate message. They have millions of views. They have millions of followers. They figured out how to monetize their content on social platforms. They get likes and shares. They're CEOs. They have mega yachts and planes and big cars and fancy cars, and all that's good for them. All that's really good for them. And yet I think when you talk to people, what they're truly looking for is happiness. They're looking for strong relationships. They're looking for personal time, for hobbies that they enjoy, for health and wellness. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm just saying I know which one I like more. I'd rather happiness and hobbies and health and personal time and strong key relationships. Those are the things that as a human I value. And what I see is that there are a lot of people that confuse the end justifying the means with having a meaningful life. And we'll talk about that because meaning can be derived in a number of different ways, and it means different things to different people. I'm not speaking to the people that find meaning in the hyper-competitive. I'm not speaking to those people. I'm not vilifying them. They are not wrong. They are not bad. They are amazing. I'm speaking to the people that find themselves unencouraged by the competitive nature of our life. You see, I think that we've misunderstood or confused happiness with status. And I think that therein lies a problem. I mean, I saw a video the other day, and the video is of one of these gurus saying that he felt like he would be a failure if he brought home $400,000 a year as a provider and a husband. And I just got moved with compassion and just grief for that person, because I can't fathom pinning my human worth to a bank account. I think that the difference that I make in my son's life, or the difference that I make in my wife's life, is not tied to the income that I produce, but it's the person that I'm producing by seeking to learn, build, and grow and get better in those things. And if all I can do is make them money, then I'm robbing them of the best parts of me, which is the time that I get to spend together. I mean, I've said it before, and it's an echo of those smart people who've said it before me, but time is priceless. It's our most valuable resource, and I want to use it to its fullest, and I think that its fullest is not the pursuit of a number in a bank account. The end doesn't justify the means, because we all have the same end. My question is, at my end, did my life have meaning? At my end, did my life have meaning? And the meaning that my life has nothing to do with the amount of money I made. I know people that passed away that were not wealthy, but had thousands of people attend their funerals, not because they made a whole bunch of people rich, but they enriched people's lives with their presence. Giving money certainly helps. I'm not telling you don't do the charitable giving, but giving your hand, giving your time, giving yourself to people, that is meaningful, and that creates a meaningful life. I'm not competitive by nature. I have a big heart and I care about others. And I've honestly tried to hide that for a long time. I learned that I've kind of no longer had to, but it was a defense mechanism. We've all, I think, can relate to traumas and hurts and pains and disappointments and things that have happened that have not gone the way that we wanted them to. And, that created a wall for me that I'd rather perform and look like people wanted me to look, and do the things that I think other people wanted me to do, because I would get their validation. They weren't validating the true person that I am, but they were validating the shell that I was showing them. And that validation was something. But today, at this point, this journey that I've had 35 years, almost 36 years in the making, what I can tell you is I'm content. I don't need titles or promotions or recognition. I simply will help those I can help. I don't need to get the coach of the year or any of that stuff. I don't need to have thousands of people showing up to see me speak. If I get that and I receive that, and that's how many people hear my message and need it, then great. Then I'm going to help those people. But I'm not actively seeking it. Truthfully, today, if it happened, I don't know what I'd do with it. I just want to make sure that I can give of myself in the way that I know that I can. I'm a life coach that understands and can coach into business, and it's not the other way around. I know how to help people improve their life from a physical perspective, from a spiritual perspective, from a relational perspective, from a free time perspective. I understand those things. And I've done business at a high level for a long time, and I understand that, and I know the mechanics of it and the workings of it, and I can help you get there. But I fail. I don't always get it right. And I don't own an airplane. And I'm happy with that. I really don't want to own an airplane. I've actually turned down opportunities because of the amount of travel it required, simply because I think that flying is abhorrent. I think that the way the air travel is run, how you queue up and you go through this thing and you sit in a little metal tube and, you can't move or get up or anything like that because you might bounce around, it's not for me. I would much rather build a life on the terms that I understand and the way that I would have them to be built than to try to put myself into some other person's version or view of success that they deem important. Because to me, the minute I let go of other people's importance, the minute I was able to find mine, and when I was able to find mine, I realized that yeah, my life might be characterized simply by maybe 10 conversations with 10 individuals every single week on a recurring basis, that we are on this spiritual journey together where we understand our purpose and our life and how we coexist with others, who we can help, knowing the difference between those we can help and those we can't help, being able to cheer on those people that want to build and grow and do, and yet at the same time caring for the least of these and saying that those people that simply need a pat on the back or an encouraging word just to get through their day-to-day, give that hand, give that time. I'm an uncompetitive person in a competitive world. I never really made straight A's. For me, it was kind of a math equation in my mind that I could study for 20 minutes, make B's, and then I could go out and play in the evenings. Or I could study for 2 hours and make A's, and I'd miss going out and playing and spending time with my friends. So I think that you can kind of understand that me at this point, I was a solid B student, and I was okay with that. I was never the top salesperson. I never desired to be that, because I think that the life that you have to live to sell the most is a life that's lived in sales, and that's not a life to me. I want to help the people that I can help. So as I've figured that out in today's life, what I understand is I just have to get real with my finances. I have to get real with my budget, and I have to understand what it takes for me to have the life that I want to have. And then I just need to earn the requisite amount of income to get there. And no, I'm not trying to double it every year. I'm not trying to double that every year. It's a great goal. And for those of you that have it, remember, this video is not meant to take you away from doing what you do. I'm seeking to talk to a people that there's not a sales class for. There's not a sales class for people that say, you know what, 20 houses a year if I'm selling homes, or 20 units of this product a year, or 10 cars a month, or whatever the thing is for you. Like, you don't have to be the top performer. You don't have to get the video with the most likes. Lord, I know I don't get the most likes. You don't have to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. You don't have to be those things. What you do have to do is understand that if those aren't your pursuits, what are they? Because I think that the danger of not being a competitive person in a competitive world is we start to look at ourselves and go, well, if we're not competitive and we're not seeking that title, I guess we can just get busy being lazy. And then we start doing things that don't serve us, that don't take care of us. I mean, there was a time, and it still tends to creep its head, that, I thoroughly enjoy a cold beer. And, if I don't have a lot going on, I might enjoy maybe more than I should. So that's something that we have to think about is if I'm not going to be driving to the top performer, the top salesperson, those competitive goals, where am I going to use my non-competitive nature for the benefit of others? And for me, the juxtaposition in getting away from the hyper pressure of high sales volumes and things is to become a better father and a better husband. And becoming a better father and a better husband means being a provider, not just monetarily, but emotionally. Learning where I can take time in my day where I otherwise wouldn't be able to. You see, when I was running and doing and building and growing and all of those things that are good in and of themselves, what I didn't get to do is take the time when when my son would say, "Dad, do you want to play with me?" I'm like, "Just let me send this email, or just let me do this one more thing." And next thing I know, this one more thing beget five things, and it's dinner time, and I didn't get to play. The moment I realized it was okay to not be the top performer, that's where I started to find joy. Because it's in those moments where I stopped and said, yeah, let's just do that. That's where I found my joy. That's where I found my biggest opportunity. And what I'm endeavoring to show my son is there are times to work and then there are times to experience those joys. And the thing is, we manage our finances here really well, and we know what we need to bring in, and we endeavor to do that, and we work to do that so that we can spend that time. I also quit comparing myself to others and started going after what I love, not what made people love me. I think that if we get too much into the hustle and grind, that we start throwing up these big numbers and we start becoming this top salesperson. And if you're a top salesperson, management's going to praise you. You're going to get that validation. Like I said earlier, they're validating the act, not the human who did the action. But our brains just kind of accept it as an accolade for us because we need that. And see, the thing is, when you get behind as a top producer, the people, your managers, the people over top of you, they're going to try to help you get back on pace. And if you get way behind, they might start asking you what's wrong. But if you break down, they're going to look for your replacement. They value what you do. They value your means, regardless of your end. And that's not bad. When you're running a business, you're supposed to hit numbers. You're supposed to do those things. Again, I'm speaking to the non-competitive person in the competitive world. The non-competitive person in the competitive world goes, I thought you valued me. See, we misunderstood. They value what we do for the organization, and that's not wrong. That's what an organization is supposed to do. But see, we're trying to get validation for our person inside of an organization that values the means and the results that we generate. I'm going to spend more time in these conversations. This is just an introduction of concepts. We'll do more with this in the future. What I want you to hear, though, is if you start thinking about you and your joy and your day-to-day and your time, I want you to understand that there are people in your world that value you as a human being. And if you feel like you've kind of lost your way and the hyper-competitive world isn't serving you the way that you want to be served, then it's incumbent upon you to figure out how you can embrace your non-competitive nature. Because I love the competitive humans in the world. They drive progress. They drive innovation. They're good. But if you're not that, you are good as well. You're the peace bringers, the joyful, the optimist. Your place is just as important on this planet. We just have to find a way to make sense of our place in it. The sense that I am making of my place in it is that I want to be the voice for those that say, you know, how do I build a full life, not just a full bank account? How do I build full opportunities for those in my world, not just for me? See, I look at the people who are looking outward, not inward. I look at the people who are looking to make a difference, to grow something, to build something. Those are the people that I want to work with. Those are the people that I understand. If you just want to be first, I don't get that. I just, conceptually, I understand it. And yet the drive to be first, simply to say that you're no longer first when the race is over. You're no longer first when the race is over. They give you a medal to commemorate what you did. They don't give you a medal for your future. They give you a medal based on what you've accomplished. And then tomorrow the scoreboard resets. You start right back where you came from and you have to do it all again. And to me, that sounds like a hamster on a wheel. I don't want to be a hamster on a wheel. Because see, I only get one shot at this wheel. And for me, the people that I get to share this life with, my time on this wheel, when they look back and they say things about me in my absence, meaning when I'm no longer here, the things I want them to say was that I loved them and I cared for them and I supported them and I encouraged them. Because I don't care if people know how much money is in my bank account. In fact, most people probably never will know how much money is in my bank account, and I'd like to keep it that way because finances typically are personal. But as I stated before, I don't have a jet, so you can kind of figure out where I am on a financial stage. But that's not important to me. You are. You took the time. You've watched this video. You've stayed here. So something about this has caused you to think or to be intrigued or to be interested. So comment below. Tell me what you think. If you think I'm completely off base and I've lost the plot, tell me that. I'm happy to hear it. Share it with a friend. Get a dialogue going. Let's talk more about being uncompetitive people in a competitive world. And let's see where that conversation takes us. I love you all, my friends. Make it a great day. Smile and the world smiles back.